Well, welcome to another episode of Middle Ground with JLE, L.L.C, where we treat you like family. That's the theme song, Detroit Love, off my first album, The JLE Experience. I own the music copyright, so Facebook don't mute nothing. Always got to say that. We got another great guest in this awesome season 10. We have, make sure I say it right, WILGEN Group.
That's right.
I say it right?
You did.
Okay.
You did.
L.L.C, President Levar Wilson. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jeff. I appreciate it. Yeah, so WILGEN is actually short for Wilson Generation, and I'll get into like all that as the show goes on. But no, I appreciate you having me on today. It is an honor. It is a privilege. I don't take it lightly. I do thank God for this opportunity that He has brought into our life, and I'm grateful that our paths crossed on LinkedIn, of all places. And you reached out to me. You said that I looked like I was positive. I was like, you said that I said that you looked like you were positive, and it brought us to today. And I'm grateful for you. May God continue to bless all the work that you have done. I know that this is your 10th season. I know that you've had a lot of trials and errors, ups and downs, bumps and bruises, scratches and scrapes, right? But
seasons, right?
So, man, I appreciate you sticking with it. You are certainly a testament of perseverance. And so I'm just glad to be here tonight, and to all of the guests that are tuning in, wherever you're tuning in. I hope that your day has been awesome as you prepare to enjoy this weekend, and I'm just glad to be here, man. Like I said, I'm grateful, and I don't take this opportunity lightly at all.
Okay, give it the first question. What led you to this path?
What led me to this path, man? What's that song? It kind of starts off with "I Gotta Take You Back." I think that was like Blackstreet or
Blackstreet,
right?
Yeah,
and
Blackstreet.
So yeah, I gotta take you back. I gotta take everyone back so that it gives like everyone an understanding of how by we I mean my wife and I, how we're wired, what pushes us every single day, and what's gonna keep pushing us like for like years ahead. So like you said, and to everyone else, my name is Levar Wilson, and I am the proud husband of Wendy Wilson. And man, we are from a small country town in Texas called Hearne, Texas. It's small. By small, man, it's like the last time I checked, it's about 4,500 people. And that's if everyone has a family reunion at the same time. We just crossed over our second McDonald's, right? So we have two McDonald's in the little town right now.
Okay.
So we booming like Hearne, Texas is booming, man.
Big thing. It's Texas doing the big down there.
Absolutely. Hey, we got two McDonald's. Man, Wendy and I, man, we're high school sweethearts, bro. We actually started dating our sophomore year in high school. And man, so like we've been married. This is our 20th year of marriage, like officially, right? Thank you. Officially, but we've been together for about 24 years now. And I have to say that when it comes down to my wife, man, she gives me proof that heaven is real because she is absolutely my angel here on earth. So I gotta let everybody know that, like, for sure, like I love her with my whole heart, man. So I served in the Army, and then Wendy served in the Air Force, right? And so as the military would have it, our paths kind of separated for a little bit because I was in the Army, she was in the Air Force. We didn't like that, like at all, like 0-0. And so what happened is that I transitioned back to Texas from Hawaii, and we kind of like, I was like, look, I'm not leaving you ever again. We don't have to have like a real fancy marriage. Let's just go down to the justice of the peace. Let's make sure that everything is good to go. because you're coming with me. You know, and that was October 27th of 2003 was when we like were fully like official. And man, we've been happily married ever since, man. I love my wife with everything that I have. We are entrepreneurs by heart. You know, we grew up poor, both of us.
Okay.
My wife grew up poor. You know, she grew up with her mom and dad. I grew up poor. My mom raised me, my two brothers, and my baby sister. Now, this is in like the mid '80s in a small country town, man. So we understood, as you would say, get it out the mud. So we understood, man, the value. Yeah, man, the value of working hard. You know, I did subscribe to the go to school, get a job, get good grades, all that. You know, I subscribed to that. You know, I learned that wasn't for me, and I'll get into that here in a second. But man, we are the proud of three kids, man. My son is 25. It's 25. Awesome. He's 25, yeah. He's in the Army right now, followed in my footsteps. My oldest daughter, check this out. She joined the Air Force, followed in mom's footsteps. Okay. And we have a 16-year-old daughter who loves track, who actually wants to be a veterinarian. So she has 2 more years before she enters into the college force. And man, 2 years ago, bro, we became grandparents for the first time.
Wow.
You know, and you know, so like I'm a granddad, Paul, grandfather, whatever he wants to call me. Like it's all good, man. We tried several business ventures over the course of our marriage, and some of them failed. Most of them failed. A lot of downs followed by ups. I can't say ups and downs because it's always down, up, down, up. Right. So that's how things are for us, man. And then during the height of COVID, now check this out. During the height of COVID was actually when we decided to launch WILGEN Group, was during the height of COVID. And so like that's kind of like the background of everything. And let me explain to you and to the guests like the challenge that I had. I was in the Army, and my family is the absolute most important thing to me. Like if it's not family, what else is it, right? Like, so it's family first, family always for me. When I was in the Army, you may not like be able to understand, but man, I deployed 7 times. Now, the 7 times we're talking about Iraq, Afghanistan, Jordan, Qatar, like I deployed 7 times. Now, Wendy and I, we were kind of curious, like how long did you really deploy? Like we're not talking about like the training events. We're not talking about the short military trips. We're talking about how much time were you deployed to combat zones? We're talking about boots on the ground. I'll give you a guess. Like what do you think? In 7 deployments, about how long do you think I was actually gone from my family?
I would say maybe 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Now, would you say 2.5 years is a long time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
Absolutely.
But I was actually gone away from my family 6.5 years. It came out to 72 months when we did the math. 72 months. And so, man, so all of this was going on. So I'm trying to like provide for my family and be there for my family. I'm a grandfather now. And what happened is that I transitioned out of the military in January of 2010. And Jeff, I didn't have a plan B at all. I was just like, let's just figure this out. And so what I ultimately started to do was serve as a defense contractor. Now, as a defense contractor in the Army, if you can transition over and do the same thing that you did, yeah, do the same thing that you did in the Army, now you're doing it as a contractor. So that was me. That was me, right? And so there was still this push in my heart. There was still this tug in my heart. Like, man, you have got to do something different. Like you have to find a way to do something different because your relationship with your kids is not the same. You don't want to be an absentee father. You don't want to be an absentee husband. If you're providing, yes, that's good, Levar. But if you're not there present, because I believe that as a man, we have to protect, we have to provide, and we have to be present. I call it the 3 P's.
True.
Protect, provide, and be present. Like those are the 3 P's. So I don't know about you or anyone else that's out there, but when I grew up, no one taught me about money. Jeff, did anybody teach you about money growing up?
The only little bit I had was a decor store my senior year of high school, but I left it, so I didn't have a 1 to 7. That was the only time I was going to learn. We were going to run the school store and all that. That was the only money I learned about.
Yeah, man. Look, man, I didn't know anything about money. I knew about hustling. You know, I knew about the struggle. You know, I knew about joking about government cheese. I remember
that was the best cheese, bro.
Hey, it didn't matter how much you bent the cheese, like you'll just boing, like
yep.
it would bounce back. How much you did, like it was not gonna lose its shape at all. Right. And so I learned the street value of food stamps. I knew that a $20 food stamp can get me $10 in cash right on the street. Like I learned about that, but no one taught me and no one taught us how to build wealth, how to build and create intergenerational wealth. No one taught us how to do that. And so I graduated from the School of Hard Knocks. And so I joined the Army right out of high school. One of the reasons is because the Army was one of those jobs, it was secure, right?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of effort to get fired from the Army. I'm like, bet, I'm going to do the Army thing. And that's what I did. I joined right out of high school. 5 days after I graduated high school, I was in basic training. Like I didn't know anything about anything, like nothing. And what happens in the Army now, as a country guy, a country boy, I didn't know anything about a checking account. I didn't know anything about an ATM card. So man, when the Army enrolled me in direct deposit and I got my first ATM card, like, bet, like I put this little piece of plastic in the machine and it spits out money. Sounds like a plan, right? Sounds like a plan. I'm loving it. Like this card is magic. Well, and then as I grew up a little bit, I can send my mom money back home, right? Right? I can send her money back home. I was never able to do that before. You know, I'm sending my mom money back home. I'm feeling good about that because I can support my mom. I'm sending money back home every 2 weeks, feeling good. But then I came across a monster, and the monster is the Army's version of a credit card. Man, the credit card,
in your ear.
the credit card was called listen to the name, a deferred payment plan card, or DPP. And so I got this card, Jeff. I got this card, Jeff. I got this card, and I'm in there filling out the card. And the lady, the customer service lady, she gave me a paper temporary card. She said the real card will come in the mail in about 2 weeks, but you can use this paper card in the meantime. Okay. So I asked her, so how much credit do I have on this card? Man, listen, Jeff, I am like 19 at the time. 19. She said, Mr. Wilson, this card has $500 on its limit. So, Jeff, what do you think I did with that card?
You balled out.
Oh, I did what every respectable, mature, 19-year-old did. I saved hard. No, I did not.
You got it in.
I had $500 before I could even leave the store. And then I balled up the little bitty paper card, threw in the trash. Man, I bought everything from shoes, socks, shirts. I think I even bought food with this paper card. Like I was buying everything. $500 was gone. Like it was gone in a good 2 hours. It was gone, right? And then and then what happened is that I went to my first Army duty station. It was Hawaii. I'm loving Hawaii. Hawaii was awesome. Nice. But one thing that I learned about Hawaii is that they have other military posts on there, the Air Force and the Navy. Now, guess what?
Station in the Air Force.
Jeff, guess what I did? I learned. I did. I got the one from the Air Force and the Navy. And guess what I did?
Back in the game.
I charged those bad boys up. Jeff, nobody told me. No accountability, no nothing, like zero. I had no idea.
I have friends that did it. Max out 10 cards. Then, like what?
And then I get this book of checks from my bank.
Oh snap! Man,
it's a book of checks. So I'm thinking in my mind, I'm 19 at the time. As long as I got these paper checks, I can write checks. So I started writing checks all over Hawaii. I had checks everywhere.
You check bandit.
The checks.
Watch out for him.
Hey, so Jeff, but I had the greatest bank. I had the greatest bank in Hawaii. My bank was awesome because they taught me about this thing called non-sufficient funds paid. Right? And so when I used to get my bank statement, it used to say NSF, $29, items paid. So I'm like, great, my bank is paying these things for me. My bank is awesome. So what happened, Jeff, is for your military viewers, they're gonna know when I use this phrase. We had something called a leave and earnings statement. It was the military version of a payment stub. And so every 2 weeks we get our payment stubs. Every 2 weeks we get our payment stubs. But this time on my payment stub, it had zeros at the bottom. And what happened is that my bank, who I thought was my friend, my bank reported my spending habits to the military. And then the military reached into my army pay and sent my money to this bank that I thought was my friend. So I got a no pay due for the next month for my military.
You working for
no
free.
Pay, right? no pay due. Jeff, I was terrible. I had no coach. But Jeff, guess what? It gets a little bit better, right? Because I started to get real good in the Army. I got promoted, got promoted. Then when you get promoted, you get pay raises.
More money. My
man, right? So if I get a $500 pay raise, I can spend $500 more, right? So I did what every respectable young 19-year-old money savvy person would do. I saved that money. No, I didn't. I didn't save it. I didn't save it. I would get paid on the 1st, and I'm literally broke by the 3rd. I would get paid on the 15th. I'm literally broke by the 18th. Like it was tough. Like it was tough. And Jeff, you want to know what I call that, man?
Good time?
No. It was a good time. It was a fantastic time. Like I did. Like I used to get. Oh yeah, it was a fantastic time in Hawaii, right? And so it was great. But I call it over the course of time. What I've learned is that that's called lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation. It's a secret monster that's out there where it gets us all if we're not careful. Lifestyle inflation. It's one thing for us to deal with inflation in the economy and we have no say so in it. But when it comes down to lifestyle inflation, we absolutely have a say so in that. But no one taught me, Jeff. So as my military pay was going up, my spending is going up. Like I don't have a ceiling. My ceiling is whatever it is. Like if I get paid 1,000, I'm trying to spend as close to 1,000 as possible, right? And so, so what happened, man? Jeff, I thank God, bro, because in 2003 was the first time that I actually dabbled in investing. And by dabbling, I mean I actually like opened up a few accounts. I can see like some money growing, but man, I didn't know anything because if the month was too short, guess what I would do? I would go into my investments and I'm getting the money out the investments because it's going to take 2 days to get there, right? It's going to take 2 days. So my investments were nothing more than like a glorified checking account. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Because if I needed some money, I'm getting it from my investment accounts, right? And so that was like when I first started like investing. I started reading books. I'm reading these like fancy phrases. I have no idea, like none. But it was just something about what I was reading that was resonating like on the inside of me. And I was about 30 years old at the time. I was reading everything that I could get my hands on that dealt with money and business. Now, this started when I was 30 years old. Nonstop. That's all that I would do is read as many books as I can. And that's kind of like how it really, really started to like change my thinking, change my philosophy, change my mindset, change how I treated money, change how I viewed money. And I understood that we live in a land of abundance, right? In a land of abundance. But I had to get my mind right first. I had to get my mind right first, right? And so that was kind of like how things like started to resonate for me. But then something happened that transformed my life, Jeff. I like to call it the time that the nail started to hurt. Now, what do I mean by that? The nail is the situation that I was sitting on. I was tired of struggling. I was tired of not being able to provide for my family. I was tired of having to check the checking account before I like use my debit card. I was tired of getting calls from creditors. I was tired of getting mails from creditors. I was tired of all of that stuff. I had to make a change. Now we were struggling during this time. So my mind was there, but my reality was not. My reality was different than where my mind was at. My mind was years down the road, but I still had to deal with the reality of all the decisions that I made years ago, right? Years ago. So what happened, I am a full-blown Christian man. And I believe that tithing is important. Tithing is important. So Jeff, I became what I call a tither in training. A tither in training. Now, what does that mean? So as a tither in training, I knew that 10% were my tithes, right? I knew that it's 10%. But man, God, I can only do 1%.
Put something on it.
I'm gonna tithe my 1%. And so I was like, okay, every single month I tried to do a little bit better. Okay, 2%, right? I'm still a tither in training. 3%, 4%, 5%. I'm getting better. I'm training. And man, what happened is that over the course of time, we got to the point where we are actually tithing the right way. We're tithing the right way. Now, it was tough. During this time, I was not strong in my faith because all I saw was like the debt. That's all I can see every single day, every single night. Rob Peter to pay Paul because hey, Peter cuts off ears, and Paul he can talk real good, right? And so that's where I was, man. I would lose sleep. My health was bad. Like all these things were going on at the same time. But man, I wanted to honor God the right way in our money. And what happened, man, is that when we started to tithe 10% and give offerings, our money transformed, bro. Our money transformed. Now, I wasn't making any more, but it just seemed that, okay, man, we got enough to last through the month. Okay, bet. Oh, now we got some left over. Bet. Now we can sell some. Bet. Right? And I know for a fact that it all started right there. Now, as you know, not every story is a good news story because although we were tithing, guess what, Jeff? I still had consequences for decisions that I made years ago.
Oh yeah.
Years ago.
You got to pay the boss.
Now, what were those mistakes that I made years ago? So there's this. I did. They were maxed out, fully blown maxed out. And then what I learned is that if I had a $1,000 balance, this thing called interest, didn't know anything about that. So how is my maxed out $1,000 balance now $1,100, now $1,200, now $1,300?
Oh no!
I'm not spending that money, right? So someone has to teach me. I don't know anything about this, right? And so what happened, man? I got this knock on my door that sounds like an email from the IRS. Yeah. So what happened? Oh, they did. They had the white flashy thingy and everything, bro. They came a knocking. They came a knocking. But you and I both know, and everyone that's listening, you all know that if the IRS is contacting you, it's never for good news. Like never. So what happened is that by mistake, I actually shredded a W-2 from a previous tax year. And I did not file that previous tax year. Now, this was about 4 years ago that it took the IRS to find me, right? To come a knocking. That money that I did not file, they added interest fees, they added penalties, they added everything that they could. Everything that they could. And my wife and I, we had to deal with a back pay balance of $34,000. $34,000. And so I am desperate at this time. I am incredibly desperate at this time. Like they were talking about garnishing my pay. I'm as a defense contractor, I got a real high level security clearance. They were talking about taking my clearance from me. All of these things were going on. So I started to look for ways that I can get out of this tax burden, right? $34,000. And so I joined a tax credit company. A tax credit company.
Okay.
So what they said was, Levar, if you give us $220 a month, we're going to apply it towards your taxes that you owe. And so I did that for 1 year, Jeff. And guess what? That $34,000, it actually went up. It actually went up. We were in a lose-lose situation, my wife and I. And so what happened, Jeff, is that I got a little bit wiser, a little bit smarter. And I learned the value of starting a home-based business. We started our first home-based business, right? And this was in 2000, 2013. Now, what happened is when COVID hit, and what happened, to go back just a little bit, what happened is that we learned the value of a 1099. We learned the value of the other side of the tax code. These are things that they don't teach us in school, especially not in my school. They might have taught that in your school, but in my school, they didn't
bro, not that tax code.
Tax write-offs. They didn't teach us any of that stuff, right? Now, Jeff, what happened?
Not mine either.
What happened is that over the course of the next 4 years, we were able to pay off that $34,000 in back taxes, and it did not come out of our pocket at all.
Awesome.
At all, right? At all. And so we started to see, okay, we're learning how money works. Through trial and error, we're learning how money works. And so when COVID hit, we knew that the country was in some bad shape. Businesses were shutting down left and right. And so what we did was we put forth a lot of capital, and we launched WILGEN Group in December of 2020 during the height of COVID, right? So what happened is that as COVID started to do its thing, we all know that it was the American family that was hurting. It was the American family. I know countless of families that had to go through COVID. I'm pretty sure you know families that had to go through the issues of COVID. And I'm pretty sure your viewers know at least one person that had to struggle through COVID. Mm-hmm. And so what my wife and I decided to do was, we know that this part of the brokerage can help business owners. Great. But we decided to open up another part of the brokerage to help middle income families like mine, like yours, and like every viewer that's out there. And that, my friend, that, my brother, is what allows us to do what we were able to do. Man, I remember we didn't have any lights. We didn't have any food. Like, I didn't have any gas. Like, man, we have gone through a whole lot as a couple, as a family. And I tell anyone that, yes, I was the provider, but Wendy, my majesty, my queen, she's the one that held this family together. She was a magician with the little bit of money that we had, and she was able to stretch it beyond anything that I ever thought. So it's her, like my strong, virtuous, valuable, lovely wife. She's the one that held this thing together, and she gave me some time to get our family on the right footing so that we can do great things for other families. And so what we did, man, we didn't want to keep all that to ourselves. We actually wrote 2 books. They're out there on Amazon, like right now. You all can grab those books. Like, they're out there, man. We talk about the nitty gritty in those books. I put a screen capture in one of the books that talks about money. And man, we had $1.47 in our checking account and savings account total.
Woo.
I put a screenshot in there because the one thing that we want families to know is that we understand what it feels like to be in bad situations. Like the things that we talk about, the things that we share, the way we coach our business partners, it's not coming from anything philosophical. It's coming from what we have actually learned and grew through, like the real deal. And there are a couple verses that I want to share with everyone, just so you can see like where we are. And then we'll just keep going for the next conversation, the next question. So here's a quote by Apostle Paul. Let me read it to you. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. The next one is, when God gives someone wealth and possessions and the ability to enjoy them, to accept their lot and be happy, is their toil. This is a gift of God. They seldom reflect on the days of their life because God keeps them occupied with gladness of heart. And then the last one is a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
That's true. That's true.
But a sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous. And so, Jeff, like that's our story. Everyone, that's our story. And that's why we do what we do. And that's the mission that we have. So
Okay.
that's like, let me take you back, and now you know like a little bit more about LeVar.
Okay, so you know why you made the WILGEN group. As the president, what are the duties that you got to do? Someone that might want to do what you've done so far.
Oh, fantastic. So my duties, I would describe my duties as a coach of coaches.
Okay.
Right? A coach of coaches. What we do, a lot of people have never done before, never been taught. We never thought that we would ever be doing this. And so we have some wonderful coaches that we trust, that we love, that we are loyal to. And they are the ones that teach us, you know, each one teach one, right? That philosophy. And that's the same thing. We are coaches, like by nature. We are in the foxhole with every business partner that we have, every business partner. And as a military person, speaking to maybe some other military people out there, you understand the foxhole analogy that we are in this together. You're not in this by yourself. As your coaches, our job is to help you navigate the terrain that we've already navigated. As long as you can understand and trust your coach, like Kobe Bryant is my favorite basketball player of all time. He had a coach, right? He had a coach. Michael Jordan, he had a coach. Bill Russell, he had a coach. You cannot find any successful person out there ever without a coach, right? There's no such thing as a self-made person, because that's a myth. We're only able to do what we're able to do based on the sacrifices that those have come before us. And so our coaches have made sacrifices, and they teach us. Based on what they teach us, we teach our business partners to be better coaches than we are. So that's like the short version of it. But yeah, Jeff, like at the end of the day, man, we're coaches. We are absolute pioneers when it comes down to helping families get out of debt, stay out of debt, create intergenerational wealth. And that's what drives us, brother.
I feel you on that. Now we reached the part of the show where market promote your brand. Go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. So again, thank you so much. And to everyone that's out there, I hope that the things that I've shared with you so far, that they resonate with you, because Wendy and I, we believe in helping families, and that's what this is all about. WILGEN Group is designed to help us collectively create wealth to our communities. Let me share with you just a few things so that you can understand the power and the importance of why we do what we do. Here's some financial challenges. About 74% of workers report living paycheck to paycheck. Almost 50% of Americans worry that they'll run out of money in retirement. The average American is like $91,000 in consumer debt. About 60 million American families have a life insurance gap of $200,000. Nearly 30% of Americans say they have less than $25,000 in savings. Indeed, about 46% of Americans have no life insurance coverage at all. About 4 in 10 Americans would need to borrow money to cover $1,000 emergency. And 74% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. So these are the statistics, and there are many that are out there, but this is why WILGEN Group was created. This is what drives us. It's so that we can do our part to make sure that these statistics do not remain as they are. So what do? We teach you how to build a foundation for your family, a financial foundation for your family. And we do that by 3 different ways. the first thing that we do, we teach you how to build an emergency fund. First and foremost, you gotta have an emergency fund. In case of a fire, break this glass, right? That's number one. Number two, we teach you how to establish your estate. And we do that by making sure that you have a will in place. Now, why do I say a will? Many states that are out there, they are called probate states. What that means is that when you die, because 100% of us on this talk tonight are gonna pass away. And if you do not have a will in place, your assets, everything that you have worked so hard for the build, is going to go to that state, and then the state is going to decide who gets what. Ooh. And so in order for you not to have to go through that, your family and loved ones, you have to have a will in place. And then the third way that we teach you how to estate plan through having a term life insurance policy. Now, there are many programs that are out there. We believe that term life insurance is the absolute best one because you can get a lot of coverage for very little. And what we ultimately do, we teach you over the course of you having a life insurance policy, how not to have a life insurance policy in your golden years. Because we know that in your younger years, you have to make sure that your income is secured. We're talking about your debt, income, mortgage, education, all that stuff, right? Because then when you get older, we want you to live on your investment income. Because if you have $500,000, $750,000, $1 million living in your investment accounts, right? In your investment accounts, and if they're growing on average 8 to 10% every single year, and you take out 4% every single year to live on, are you losing any money? Absolutely not. No. You're not losing any money. Now, in your golden years, you don't have a mortgage, hopefully. You don't have any debt, hopefully. You don't have any kids in college, hopefully, right? So now you're able to live a life, a tax-free life.
That's nice.
Tax-free life in your golden years, because we've helped you to create a sound and solid foundation while you're young. So that's what WILGEN Group does, and that's what we offer you and everyone else that's out there. So we love it. You know, we serve from our heart, and that's what WILGEN Group is all about. That's what it's all about, brother. So I appreciate that. That's a great question.
No problem. I gotta promote the guest. Next question. What has been your biggest challenge on your journey?
Oh, that's a lovely one, Jeff. So listen, in order for me to answer that question, I gotta give you a little insight on something. So I was born in 1977. Okay. And in 1986 was when the first Top Gun came out, right?
I remember that.
Right. So I was what, 7? No, I was 9 years old when that came out. And man, look, Maverick and Goose, those were my dudes right there, right?
Oh yeah, them fighters seem awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Those are my dudes. Jeff, when I was younger, man, I wanted to be a jet fighter pilot when I was younger.
Okay, I can see that.
Man, I used to like practice my landings. My mom had like this dining room table, and I would practice my landings. Hey, I had this little ballpoint pen. I would come in, do my touch and go, and take back off, right? On my little ballpoint pen. That was my dream. I wanted to fly jets. I wanted to be the next Maverick and Goose. Like, that was my thing. No one told me how to do that. You know, I grew up in the country. Like, I saw crop duster planes, but that's not what Maverick and Goose had. You know, I want to fly like Tomcat, right? The Tomcat. And so man, what happens, and what happens to everyone, a lot of people that are out there, is that they've stopped dreaming.
That's true.
That's the challenge, is to get people to understand that you can dream again, that you can tap into that young kid when you were back in the day, that young fearless kid where you could ask any kid. If you ask little Tommy's like, I want to go to the moon. Well, how are you going to get there? I don't know.
I'm going.
Right? I'm just going.
Yep.
We were fearless when we were younger. But somewhere along the line called life, we stopped dreaming.
That's true.
And so a challenge that I have is to get older kids that are disguised as adults.
Yeah.
To dream again.
That's true.
To believe in themselves again. Because it does not matter how much I care about them and how much I believe in them, or how much you care about them, or how much you believe in them. If they don't believe enough in themselves to get off the nail that's hurting them, they're going to sit there. They're going to sit there. And so that's been our greatest challenge, Jeff, is to get older adults that's disguised, to get older kids disguised as older adults, to tap into that fearless, reckless young child that they were, that wanted to like go to the moon and not even know how to get there, right?
Yeah.
So that's been the greatest challenge that I've had, man, and that we've had over these last 2 years.
Okay, and Maverick 2 is actually pretty good. I was shocked.
Oh, it is. I was actually impressed with how they kind of, how they did it.
Yeah, the fighter scenes, the cockpit viewplay, like, wow.
Yeah, I was like,
that's different.
That's what I'm talking about. Now I'll go see it again too, because when I went to see it, it just came out. The movie theater was completely empty. I went to watch it like at 10:30 in the morning. Everybody was at work. So it's
That's
like,
what I like, man. Keep the crowd down.
I had popcorn in my beard.
You enjoy yourself.
It was it's a fantastic movie. They really did that the right way.
For sure. They probably might do enough. They made $1 billion.
I'm fine with that.
You know?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Next question. In your words, what has been your impact on your journey?
Jeff, impact is one of those words where like you want to know. Like you want to know that what you're doing is not done in vain.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible called it the fruit of your labor. You want to make sure that you're planting in good ground, and so, brother, I did. I took a look, like at what we've done, and when you're like in the grind every single day, and you have your hands to the plow every single day, you really don't come up to look back, right? You don't look back. You don't appreciate what you did in the past enough, right? You just kind of just going to the next task and the next task and the next task.
Yeah, I've been there.
And so I took some time to kind of look at what we did in review over the last 18 months. And I got to tell you, man, it touched me. Like it really left an impact, like, of determination within me. And over the last 18 months, our brokerage has grew by 68 business partners across the country.
Wow, that's nice.
Across the country.
Nice.
And when it comes down to adding wealth in our community, and by community, I'm talking about the middle class community, that is important to me, to us, and I hope to everyone that's on this stream tonight. And man, I did the tally of what we were able to give back to families. How much value have we put back into the middle income families that look like ours? right? That understand that, you know, when they enter into their next chapter of life. And Jeff, the number came out to $12.24 million.
Wow.
Over the last 18 months.
That's a lot of bread.
Over the last 18 months. 12.24 million over the last 18 months. And we do this all from the comfort of our home.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Thank you. And we thank God for that. We've never believed that he would call us to serve on a level such as this. We take it seriously. We have fun, but we take what we do very seriously because we know that lives are at stake, generational wealth is at stake, and we're all about it. Like, we are all about helping families get free, stay free, create generational wealth. So that's our impact, brother. And thank you so much for that question. And just like looking at the numbers, man, it took me back, bro. Like it really did.
I bet it did.
Yes, sir.
And
yes.
Last question. What advice do you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
Ooh, purpose. I struggled. I struggled with purpose for years. And what I have learned is that purpose is not necessarily a lifelong thing, because your purpose can evolve, right? Based on the situation, your purpose can evolve. Your purpose can be for a season of your life, and then it'll likely change to be something else, right? As you grow, the purpose grows, right? And so I don't believe that it's one purpose for life, right? I believe that your purpose changes as you grow through life. Now what do I mean by that? As a Christian man, I first had to sincerely ask God to reveal it to me. God, what do you want me to do with my life right now? What is the difference that you want me to make in my life right now that can outlive my life right now? Right?
Wow.
You have to, now from there, you have to intentionally be still in your heart and in your mind. You have to intentionally be still in your heart and your mind once you ask the question. When it comes to being still, that comes in the form of praying and meditating, which are different. Those are two different things.
True.
But they both provide you with direction. But if you have not sat down intentionally after asking the question, you're not going to be able to hear the answer because of all the white noise that's out there. All the white noise that's out there. The white noise comes to distract us. That's all it is. But if you're not intentionally being still, you're going to miss your answer. Now, when it comes down to identifying your purpose, your heart is going to always let you know where you are on the battlefield, but you have to listen to it.
True.
Your purpose cannot be anything that deals with money. It can't be. Yeah. Your purpose has to be focused on value, which is different than money. When you add value through your purpose, money comes as a result or the byproduct of the value.
That's true.
If you put money before anything else, then you set yourself up to be compromised in your purpose. In your purpose. In your purpose, right?
That's true.
Now, when you listen to your heart, it's going to guide you along the way. Your heart is always speaking, right? In the natural, someone will call it your intuition. But in the spiritual, we know that's called the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Always communicating, always communicating. In the communication, do not look for it to come in a specific or certain way.
True.
Because you're going to miss the message. In the Bible, God used a donkey to get the message across so that people can take action in their purpose. Now, I'm not saying to go look for a talking donkey. I am saying not to look for your answer in your purpose to come in a specific way, because God may use an unconventional way to communicate with you.
That's true.
When it comes down to getting your purpose.
That's true.
Now, when you get the answer, you're going to know that it's the answer because there's this element called peace that comes on you. If you have a problem recognizing it, think about taking a real long, nice, deep breath and then letting it out. You see how that makes you feel? Like it just releases things that are on you. That's the peace of God coming on you. That's when you're going to know that you're operating in your purpose for the season. But it doesn't stop there, because once you understand that, you have to get going about doing it.
That's the key part. You got to start doing it.
To know what your purpose is and not to do something is the same as not having a purpose at all.
That's true.
You have to take action right away. And you will pick up the stuff that you don't know as you learn and grow.
Yep.
But you have to keep moving. Because when you move on what you know, the things that you don't know become clearer. But when you do not move on the things that you know, the things that you don't know paralyzes you so that you cannot move or take action.
That's true.
And on those mornings when you don't feel like getting out of bed, when you're feeling low, when you're feeling discouraged, the only thing that you have to remember is the reason why you're doing it. And that is everything that's attached to your purpose. So get after it, go after it for 6 days, take you a good break, take you a good rest on that 7th day, rinse, relax. And that's how you go about finding your purpose. And that's what I would submit, not just for your viewers, but man, I'm talking to myself right now.
I feel you on that, bro.
And so, yeah, man, that's what I would suggest. That's what I would recommend. That's what I would encourage everyone to do when it comes out to going out and finding your purpose.
That's some great advice. Now, you had one to do a giveaway?
Oh, I do. I do. And so for everyone that is viewing tonight, we have a gift for you. So Jeff, he's going to write down the names of everyone that is like viewing the stream tonight. And he's going to draw a name. And for whoever that name is, I'm pretty sure he has your contact information, a way of reaching out and grabbing you. We're going to get your We're gonna put your name in the hat. We're gonna grab the name out of a list. You're gonna get your address, and then what I am going to do, I'm gonna send you an autographed copy of both of the books that we have out as a gift. And the only thing that I'm asking you to do is to read the whole book, both of them, and just to give us a review of what you think the book meant for you, how it helped you, if it can be done better, whatever the case is. That's our gift from Wendy and I to you. And then secondly, if you are interested to get your own financial needs analysis, it does not matter if you become a business partner or not. We are giving away a free complimentary financial needs analysis to everyone that's on this stream. And the only thing that you need to do is contact Jeffrey, let him know that you want one. And then we'll do the work behind the scenes. I'll reach out to you. We have a fancy little QR code that we'll send to you so you can fill out your information. And then from there, we'll do your financial needs analysis. I'll go over it with you, highlight any red flags that's there that you may need to address. I'll also show you some areas that are green that I'll give you a thumbs up. And then once we get done with that financial needs analysis, if you want Wendy and I to be of service to you, that would be an awesome privilege and an honor. But it all starts and ends with your financial needs analysis. So again, we're going to give away 2 autographed books and a free complimentary financial needs analysis to everyone that's on the stream. And I thank you all for spending this time with me tonight. I hope that what I shared with you encourages you. I know that it encouraged me. And so that's Levar. That's Wendy. You know, on behalf of Wendy, my wife, we are grateful and we thank you all so much for having us.
So the show is just legit. Got in the hat. So I ain't messing around. We
all right.
Transparent. Over here in middle ground. And we're gonna pull a name out. And we pulled out Gina. All right. Congratulations.
So, congratulations, Gina. Hey, so if you can like send Jeff your address or post it in the chat, however you want to do it, I will send you over your 2 autographed copies for your book, for the books. I hope you enjoy them. They are, whoo, you're gonna learn some stuff in there. Like they're tough to get through, but we're grateful and again, congratulations for winning the books, Gina.
Yep. Man, there's been a lot of great information, a lot of great time. This is your first time doing the podcast?
It is.
Okay, awesome. How did you enjoy the experience?
I actually loved it.
Okay.
It's pretty cool, and it's always natural when you're speaking from the heart. You don't have to make anything up. The truth is good enough, and the truth is always going to be good enough, you know, because it is the truth. So no, I enjoyed it. Like it was pretty cool. I'm hoping that I represented the middle ground, and you're pretty good. I hope that we can do this again sometimes. You know, I'm open to that. I do appreciate it so much. Man, may God continue to bless you, Jeffrey, and all that you're doing. May whatever your hands finds to do that's safe, ethical, and moral, that it is blessed and honored by the Father. And I look forward to seeing season 10, season 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. As long as he keeps you in this purpose of life right now, I'm riding with you. Like every single episode, I'm watching.
Well, you definitely go. I've created a business page now. Definitely go follow that. I'm starting doing this monthly. I do got to ask, since your very first time, did I live to the tagline where we treat you like family?
You did, man. I feel like we have been long lost cousins. I have felt like family since our paths crossed. I do appreciate that so much, like 100%. But yeah, man, you treated me like family, and I tell people all the time, when it comes down to your relatives, right? You don't have a choice in that. But you do have a choice when it comes down to who your family is. And thank you for treating me like family, Jeffrey. I do appreciate that.
That's the mission every time. I want to thank the president of WILGEN Group, LLC, Levar Wilson. His amazing story, amazing things he's doing. I'm going to put his LinkedIn and stuff once I get it all done and go check him out. Want to work with him.
Awesome.
And I hope everybody have a great weekend. Be blessed. Play this awesome, award-winning outro.
God bless everyone.
God bless. Till next time.
Detroit raised me. Detroit.